Live. Oh, welcome everyone. Welcome to Get Hype. Get Hype is a new podcast by Wayman Daniels. I'm Wayman Daniels, and I'm with my guest, my special guest named Shamik. And today's topic, we're going to talk about violence, education, and future goals. And I asked this young man to come in today so I can get a perspective from young people. What are your mindset pertaining to violence, and how does it affect you? And what do you think about violence?
That's out of control, basically.
Well, can you elaborate just a little bit more?
I would say that it's just scary out there, seeing on the news about another death all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, it makes life more depressing, but...
So, when you say depressing, can you elaborate in what way does it make you depressed? Or is it depressing?
I guess, like, seeing people so young die so quickly.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, it's just sad.
It's sad. When we talk about this violence and we're talking about it being in school, we're talking about it being sad and depressing. I'm trying to get more of an understanding. How does that make you feel when you go catch the bus to school or on campus or even going to the shopping malls? How do you feel about violence? Are you afraid that it can happen to you as well?
I'm trying not to think about it. I just hope it doesn't happen. But,
So basically what I'm hearing you say is that you use this, I guess you can say, a tool called avoidance. Not to think about it, because if you think about it, it kind of makes you sad, it makes you depressed. But the reality of it all is that it does exist. So what do you do with that thought other than just pushing it down, because it's always there?
Yeah.
So what do you do about the reality of it? Do you find yourself turning around when you hear noise and trying to figure out if someone's going to jump out and do anything to you, or do you just keep on moving with your daily life and don't pay any attention?
I mean, I keep on moving. I mean, you can't really... I mean, you can do your part to try to make the world a better place, but, you can't solve everything.
Well, let's talk about 81 homicides in the city of Rochester. Over 450 violent crimes have happened in this year. That's a lot of numbers.
Yeah.
That's a lot of violence. So how does that make you feel when it comes to your brothers and sisters? You have younger siblings. Do you be concerned about them concerning this violence?
Can you elaborate?
Well, let's just say they go to school, they're having school shootings now. Do you worry about them being at school, possibly someone coming in and doing a school shooting? Do you worry about them getting off the bus, maybe at some point, maybe even being robbed? Do you ever think about those things?
Never thought about the rob thing, but yeah, the school shooting thing is definitely something to think about, because it could happen randomly when you go to like suburban schools.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Oh, they go to suburban schools. Okay, that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Yeah, so it's like a different thing.
So tell me a little bit more about your plight. Now we're going to switch gears just a little bit and talk about your education. We're not going to be on Get Hype too long. We just wanted to do this first podcast to talk to the millennials and get their intake on violence and education. Tell me about your education, your educational background.
Yeah, so I went to community college at GCC, and then I'm still at UB. I did.
When you say UB, are you talking about the University of Buffalo?
Yeah.
Oh, what's your major?
I do undergrad. Well, see, I had 3 different majors.
Okay.
Well, 2 different majors. Like in my community college, I did computerized drafting design, and then for undergrad, I did just urban planning, minor in architecture, and now I'm in my master's program.
You're in the master's program,
yeah.
And what are you taking to the master's?
I do regional development, urban design.
Can you break it down? What is it?
It's basically city design.
Okay.
Neighborhood.
Okay.
Like, I want to specialize in neighborhood development. So.
Well, here's another question, because now we talked about violence, we're talking about education. You are a product of the city, am I correct? You were born in the city. What stopped you from going down that road called violence to get your education versus being a product of your environment, which is inner city violence and gangs? What made you not go down that road?
I guess I just pretty much just knew what I wanted and what I didn't want to do. Okay. Because like I'm also very like strong-minded, so if I didn't want to do something, I didn't do it. So like I made like any mistakes, it's because I wanted to do it.
Well, it's a very positive young man. Again, the program is called Get Hype, and I have Mr. Shamik. He's giving wonderful answers. Now we're going to shift gears. We did violence, we did education. Now let's talk about your future plans. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years after graduating?
After I graduate, 5 years after I graduate.
Yes.
Still planning out. I got options.
Well, this is the millennial guys. The millennials are still trying to weigh out their options, but he has a lot of options and a lot of choices. I'm very proud of this young man because, believe it or not, this is my son. Yeah, I said my son. Yes, I have a grown son, and I'm so proud of him that he did not go down the same road that I just returned from a couple years ago. Let's say maybe 13 years ago. And I'm so proud of him that he's getting an education. He's not being violent, but he's trying to educate his younger siblings. My question to you would be right now before we close. What can you say to the new generation and those that are watching this to keep their children from going down that road called antisocial behaviors or called self-destruction? What can you say to them to give them hope in this time?
I would just say start every day by trying to figure out a plan about what you want to do for the next day and your plans for when you get older. Try your best to be wise about your decisions. Like, remember to still have fun, but also remember like what you do can affect you in the long run.
Well, here's another question. When you say make plans, how would these plans? What are the steps for these plans? Well, it's one thing to make plans, but it's another thing to complete or work on the plans. What steps can they take once they make the plans? What can help them along the way? Because a dream is only a dream if all you're doing is dreaming.
Yeah.
So how do you get out of the dream stage and make it come to fruition in one's life?
You gotta have like milestones.
Okay.
You have the big plan.
Okay.
But you make sure you do something each and every day that inches you closer to that plan.
Okay. Sounds great.
Yeah. So you have it's like a progress. It's like a upward slope.
So it's basically just little small wins that you're doing, like little small models, and when you get to that model, you go to the next model of accomplishment. Yeah. That sounds great. Well, we're at the end of our show. It's called Get Hype. Next month, we'll have a new topic. I thank God for my son for coming. Thank you for coming to the show, Get Hype. Thank you, Shamik. You guys have a great time. I look forward to hearing from you later on. Leave your comments below and just tell us how you feel about this topic and the broadcast. We look forward to hearing from you again. Thank you very much.
You gotta end it.